Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our BCCT webinar on a very hot day in Turkey. I know our colleague Ömür is down in Bodrum and she's suffering 38 degrees. We're suffering about 31 degrees in Istanbul, but Neal's not quite up to that sort of level just at the moment. So, and I say we're suffering. Some people say we're not suffering at all. We're actually, having a very nice holiday in sunny Turkey. So, well, we're not holidaying, we're working. But anyway, welcome to this webinar, which I think is vitally important, particularly for Turkish students. What we're going to discuss today is the British education system and also promoting safety and success from prep school to university. We have two very experienced and knowledgeable individuals on the webinar. They will obviously give you the benefit of their background and experience and introduce themselves. But basically, we have Ömür Yeğinsu, who is Futureminds educational consultant based in London, and Neal Harrington, who's the head of Cognita education group. They represent 40 independent schools across the length and breadth of UK. So, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge there, and we'll give you a lot of insights in the webinar as to how students can come to UK, how they can progress through the system, as we say, from prep school to university, and what role independent schools actually play in that. So I think we'll do ladies first and hand over to Ömür, and you can give us a bit of background as to your role and what you're looking to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Değerli misafirlerimiz, BCCT'nin ev sahipliğini yaptığı eğitim webinarımıza hoş geldiniz. Bir virüs geldi. Veliler çocuklarını çok yakından tanıdılar. Onların eksilerini, artılarını çok güzel bir şekilde gördüler. Hemen hemen 3-4 aydır tüm aileler çocuklarıyla birlikte, bazı ülkelerde biliyorsunuz 3-4 aydır evlerimizden çıkamadık. Gençlerin de ailelerini ve kendilerini daha iyi tanıma fırsatı oldu. Bence bu birinci eğitim basamağı çok çok önemli. Şimdi biz burada bugün iki session'da konuşacağız. Şu anda birinci session'dayız. Birinci session'da, pardon ben kendimi anlatmayı unuttum. Ben Ömür Yeğinsu. 33 yıldır Londra'da oturuyorum. 2 çocuğum var. Onları İngiliz eğitim sistemiyle yetiştirdim. Özel eğitimle. Dolayısıyla eğitim danışmanlığının dışında aynı zamanda bir annelik yolculuğum da var. Can ve Ceylan'la. Ve eğitime çok gönül vermiş bir insanım ve kişiye özel eğitimin çok farkındalık yarattığına inanan bir insanım. Londra'da 33 yıldır yaşama sebebim İngiliz eğitim sisteminin çok artılarının olduğuna inancımdandır. Bu sistem hakikaten sorgulama üzerine kurulu. Bu sistem ülkenin politikalarının çok değiştiremediği, eğitimi değiştiremediği bir sistem üzerine kurulu. Bu sistem çağı yakalayabilen bir sistem. Bu sistem tabii ki İngilizce eğitim olduğu için dünyaya, potansiyellere açılan kapı. Ve bugünkü dünyada dahi ben bu İngiliz Independent Education sisteminin çok çok artıları olduğunu ve bireyi çok güzel bir şekilde işlediğine inanıyorum. Şimdi bugün biz sizle çok bana verilen zaman içinde birinci bölümde 4 ile 18 yaş arasında bireyin bu eğitim sistemindeki yolculuğunu anlatmak istiyorum. Ama şimdiden size ikinci bölümde ne konuşacağımızı da söylemek istiyorum. İkinci bölüm çok ilginç. Online education sistem kalitesi, okullarla olan ilişkisi ve benim bölümümde ise öğrenme kaybı nedir? Bu öğrenme kaybı konusu son derece önemli ve ona vurgu yapmak istiyorum ikinci bölümde. Şimdi arzu ederseniz hep birlikte bu yolculuğa çıkalım. 4 ile 18 yaş arası bir birey düşünün, evladınızı düşünün. Siz anne baba olarak karar verdiniz, bu yatırımı yapacaksınız. Yatılı okulda veya İngiltere'ye yerleşip veya şu anda İngiltere'desiniz, orada çocuğunuzu eğitmek için gittiniz. Birçok aile eğitime çok önem verdikleri için İngiltere'deler, bunu biliyorum danışanlarımdan. Zaten Covid'de de bildiğiniz gibi ilim, bilim, eğitim ve sağlık son derece önemli. Bunu hepimiz çok iyi anlattık. Dolayısıyla şu kısa yolculuğumuzu hep birlikte yapalım. Şimdi ben bu yolculuğumuzda yola çıkarken sizinle zor yolu seçeceğim. Çünkü ben zoru başarmanın çok güzel bir şey olduğuna inanıyorum ve hedefinize ulaştığınızda çok güzel şeyler gördüğünüze inanıyorum. Çünkü ben sizi zor yolda yolculuk bugün yaptırırsam, nasıl olsa zor olmayan, daha az emek vereceğiniz, bundan selektif dediğimiz okullar da onu da uygulayabileceksiniz. Diyeceksiniz ki Ömür Hanım, yani siz bugün burada özel eğitimle ilgili konuşuyorsunuz. Şayet sizler çocuğunuzu özel okula gönderemiyorsanız, İngiltere'de biliyorsunuz gene selektif okullar var, grammar school'lar var. Onlara nasıl hazırlanacağınızı da öğreneceksiniz. Kusura bakmayın biraz uzun oldu ama bunları söylemem son derece önemliydi. Şimdi eğitim yolculuğumuzda yola çıkıyoruz. Ne yapacağız biz? Yolu yürümek için mi çıkıyoruz bu yolculuğa? Kesinlikle hayır. Biz yola, hedefimize ulaşmak için çıkıyoruz. İngiltere'deki 4-11 yaş arası, 11-13 yaş arası ve bilhassa 13-18 yaş arası son derece önemli. Şimdi yolculuğumuzda biz bir tepeye geldik. Tepeden bu sisteme bakalım. Neymiş bu sistem? Evet, 4 ile 11. Ne oluyor? Öğrenci hem evde hem okulda bir defa okumanın önemini öğreniyor. Çok okunulacak ve ona okuyacaksınız ve kendisi de okuyacak. Algılamayı öğreniyor. Yazmayı öğreniyor. Analiz etmeyi öğreniyor. O yaşlarda dahi minik minik critical thinking dediğimiz olayı öğreniyor. Bu arada spor, müzik, drama, edebiyat, matematik, verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, bunlar o kişiyi 4 ve 11 yaş arası müthiş bir şekle sokuyor. Çünkü bu özel eğitim sistem içinde prep school dediğimiz, aslında nursery, prep ve prep school dediğimiz stage'lerden geçiyoruz yolculuğumuzda. Ve siz evladınızı 4 ile 11 yaş arası kişiliğinin de nasıl geliştiğini eğitimle el ele yaşıyorsunuz. Ve çok güzel bir tecrübe oluyor. Yeter ki siz şunu yapmayın. Ömür Hanım daha küçük kızım. Biz bunu gelecek sene yapsak. İşte oğlum biliyorsunuz erkek çocuklar biraz daha geç gelişiyor. Dolayısıyla yani çok üzerine gitmesek tamam ama bunların metotları var. Ama İngiliz sisteminde emek, organize olmak, planlamak, yani bu kültürün de bir parçası çünkü. Yani son dakika İngiliz sisteminde hiçbir şey olamadığını kabul etmek zorundayız. Yine biz tepedeyiz. 4 ile 11 yaş arasını daha fazla uzatmak istemiyorum ama biz hissini anladık bu olayın. Sonra 11 yaşında veya 13 yaşında bir üst okula girmek için sınavlara giriyorsunuz. Yani diyorum ya, bu zor yolculuk olan selektif okullar sınav veriyorlar ki bu öğrencileri alabilmek için. Bu sınavları zaten prep school sizi hazırlamış oluyor biraz önce bahsettiğim konular çerçevesinde. Evet, şimdi zaten 13 yaşında bir okula girdiğinizde GCSE denilen sınavlar 8 veya 9 tane. Seçtiğiniz zaman, oraya adım attığınız zaman öğrencide birçok şey şekilleniyor ve birdenbire Blue çağında dahi öğrenci çok konsantre olduğundan kişisel gelişimi, kendine güveni de bayağı bir artmış oluyor. Aslında daha bir mature bir öğrenci görüyoruz independent okullarda. Çünkü özel okullar o kadar güzel şeyler veriyorlar. Tamam, biliyorum bütün bu 3 term'ün fiilleri var ama inanın, doğru okulla match edildiyse çocuğunuz, karşılığını kesinlikle alıyorsunuz. Ve biliyorsunuz yani 1 sene önceye gidilemiyor bir insanın gelişiminde. Dolayısıyla GCSE yılları çok heyecanlı. Neden heyecanlı? Artık 14 ile 16 yaş arasında birey A-level'larını hazırlanıyor. Yani lisenin son 2 yılı A-level. 9 ders, 3 derse iniyor. Tabii birdenbire herkes şaşırıyor. Aman Allah'ım diyor, bu nasıl bir sistem? 9 dersten 3 ders. Ay ne kadar kolay A-level'da 3 ders. Bu seçtiğimiz 3 ders aslında öğrencinin üniversitesini bile ve okuyacağı bölümü bile tak seçiyorsunuz. Yani o anda 14 ile 16 yaşındaki bir genç hemen hemen ne okuyacağını biliyor, ders seçimini ona göre yapıyor. İşte tıp, ilim, bilim, mühendislik, şudur, budur, bunları hemen tabii ki fen derslerimizi seçiyoruz. Ve matematikle edebiyatın İngiliz özel eğitim sisteminin omurgası olduğunu hiç unutmadan biz bu yolculuğumuzda hep birlikte yürüyoruz. Şimdi GCSE'yi bitiren başarılı bir öğrenci, başarılı bir aile, başarılı bir okul. Çok mutlular çünkü öğrencimiz 8-9 derste A ile A starlar aldı. Hepimiz kutluyoruz bu başarıyı. Ama tabii ki hemen o 3 tane seçtiğimiz A-level'ların 16 ile 18 yaş arasında öğrencimizin, bireyin denizden okyanusa düşeceğini, okyanustaki işler daha zor, kendisini geliştirmesi, orada köpek balıklarının da olduğunu öğrenciye ne kadar anlatırsanız anlatın. 1. sömestr öğrenci başarının sarhoşluğuyla yürürken A-level'ların ne kadar derin ve zor olduğunu anlayamıyorlar. Ben hakikaten merakımı yenemedim ve öğrencilerimi de danışmanlıklarımda çok titizlikle takip ettiğim için çok sevgili ve değerli ODTÜ'lü bir hocama A-level matematik kitaplarını aldım, İstanbul'a getirdim. Hocam dedim, bakar mısınız 2 yılda bir İngiliz öğrenci matematikte bu kitapları okuyor. Ömür Hanım dedi, biz 4 yıl lisede bu konuları yapıyoruz ama içinde bu İngiliz kitapların içinde 4-5 öyle zor konu var ki biz müfredattan bunlar kaldırıldı. Biz bunları yapmıyoruz. Ben size anlayacağınız şekilde matematiksel dille özel bir şey söyleyeyim. Buyurun hocam dedim, Hüseyin hocam. Ömür Hanım dedi, bu benim dedi ODTÜ'de matematik bölümünde 1. yılda okuduğum matematik. Dolayısıyla A-level'larınızı çok dikkat edin. En güzel üniversitelere imza atabilmek için ve köprünün ayağına bağlanabilmek için, yani üniversite için A-level'larınızdaki başarıyı mutlaka kazanmaya çalışın. Diyeceksiniz ki Ömür Hanım, bu yani çok mu zor bir sistem? Kesinlikle zor bir sistem değil. Çok sistemli, emek çok önemli olan, shortcut alamayacağınız, shortcut yaparsanız virajları dönemeyeceğiniz tek bir motosu var. Onunla birlikte bitirmek istiyorum aslında. Work hard, play hard, İngiliz eğitim sisteminin motosudur. Bu arada tabii ki çocuğun beyninin gelişmesi, blue çağındaki problemlerine yardımcı olması, kişiliğinin gelişmesi ve bir boş zamanınızda da beyin gelişimiyle mindset okursanız, bugün mindset'e girmeyeceğiz, size çok faydalı olacaktır. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Umarım bu bilgiler size faydalı oldu. Şimdi Neal Bey konuşacak. Neal, please continue with your part of the independent education system. I think I have explained quite a bit about the technical side of GCSEs and A-levels and the prep schools. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Ömür. And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for spending your time with us this afternoon. My name is Neal Harrington, and I am Head of International Student Recruitment for Cognita. It's a global group of schools, and as Chris said at the start, we have about 41 school sites across the UK. I began my career in international education working for the British Council. I then have worked for a range of UK universities in international student recruitment and partnership roles, and then joined Cognita last September, and was delighted to meet Ömür in I think probably my first week in the role actually, and we've been doing lots of exciting work since then. I've only made it to Istanbul once, but I had a lovely time. I think my wife and I spent our first wedding anniversary there, and yeah, had a fantastic time. I should also explain that barbers only reopened in the UK on Saturday, and I've yet to make an appointment, hence my slightly longer than usual haircuts. So I'm going to talk you through with some slides, and really I think what a lot of parents have been saying to me in recent weeks is that before you tell us how fantastic your schools are, as everybody does, what they really want to hear, what you guys probably really want to hear, is how have we responded to COVID-19 since it struck? What have we put in place as a schools group to deal with this period? And what plans have we got in place for September, given that we still face a fair amount of uncertainty? So as you may be aware, the UK government closed school sites in March. And I think what we were really keen to emphasize in that period is that although the school buildings have closed, the school communities remained open throughout that period. So a really vibrant and supportive online community took shape very quickly after the buildings closed. And we were open. That meant we were open for students learning, open for their well-being, and their mental health and physical health as well. We didn't close in that respect. The Cognita group also has quite a few schools in Asia, so they were going through the crisis about 10 weeks ahead of us. So we were able to learn lessons from them and apply them very quickly to our schools in the UK. So pretty much since April, our teaching has been taking place on systems like this. We've actually been using Microsoft Teams. And what we found is many of our students left the UK at that time, primarily to avoid quarantining measures in their own country. So they wanted to get back home to their parents, or the whole families, if the families were living in the UK, left in some cases before the quarantine measures in their home countries kicked in. And what we found is that students have adapted very well to that. So although our teaching has continued within the UK school hours, so British summertime, typically, around 9 to 4, say, students have adapted their daily routine in their home countries and in their home countries' time zones to fit with ours. And everyone's been in the same position, facing the same social and emotional challenges. So we've had a real strong focus on students' well-being, so helping them stay healthy, and that means, through good quality sleep, helping them stay healthy in terms of diet, helping them stay healthy through regular exercise, and then the connecting with others aspect is really important as well, engaging in fulfilling activities. So what we did, for example, when the Tokyo Olympics was cancelled, is that we put in place then like a Cognita home games where all of our students could compete, whether that was doing things like foot keepy ups or press ups or whatever. It meant that they could stay healthy, they could engage in fulfilling activities, they could connect with their classmates and teachers as well. So there's been a lot of that activity going on while we've been closed, and that's also brought parents into the school communities a little bit more closely than normal as well. So that's how we initially responded. And more touched on GCSE and A levels. Obviously, the challenge for us has been, if families are paying to send their students to our schools, and the government cancels GCSE and A-level exams, which is what they've done this year because of the pandemic, you know, what can we usefully do with that time with those teachers in that intervening period? So rather than doing what the state schools have done, which is pretty much just closed to students in those exam years, what we did is put on an online program focusing on career development, so getting the children to think about their career plans and aspirations and what stepping stones they needed to put in place in order to achieve them. Thinking about how can we help them improve their communications, particularly their debating skills in an online setting. And then also thinking ahead to the next stage. So if they were GCSE students, well, what A-level students were they going to take? What A-level subjects were they going to take? Because you narrow and you focus in the UK education system. So you might go from 9 GCSEs down to, say, 3 A-levels. So you have to make sure you make the right choice. And then for our A-level students, they're thinking about university. So you may have heard of things called Mass Open Online Courses, or MOOCs as they get called, which in many cases are free online courses from some of the world's best universities. And again, these are fantastic opportunities for tasting what it's like to study a particular subject with a particular institution, to make sure that you're taking informed choices and that the next step in your educational journey is the right one. So we haven't just closed, you know, we've continued to offer these services to our students, and we hope that that's helped to distinguish their performance from their peers when they get to things like A-levels and university applications. So some school years in England reopened on the 1st of June. It does differ between the 4 nations of the UK in terms of how the governments have responded, but in England at least, we reopened on the 1st of June in line with the government advice, and that was just reception, year 1 and year 6 students. So reception in year 1, they're very young students, and then year 6 students, they're typically in the final year before they go on to a secondary school or senior school. So they've been the first to return. For those year groups that haven't returned, then we've continued to deliver the online provision for them. For the students back in school, we've split them into bubble groups. So again, in line with government guidance, the maximum bubble group has been 15 students in a group, but in many cases it's been much smaller than that. And then that bubble pretty much stays together throughout the school day. So they're allocated their own learning space, they have their own allocated toilets, they have, you know, their own sort of play and lunch area times and spaces as well. We've got additional signs and floor markings around to help students maintain social distancing. The guidance in the UK at the moment is that students don't need to wear face masks, but they can do if they wish in our schools. We've obviously got really robust cleaning regimes in place as well throughout the school week. We've typically suspended things like school buses and introduced particular drop-off times and drop-off points to avoid crowding around the school sites when students are arriving and leaving. And in many of our schools, we've asked them to bring in their own packed lunch rather than having using dining halls, which can get a bit more crowded. The students have been staying in classroom and eating their lunch there. And then as we look forward to September, you know, there's still uncertainty. We hope that things will continue as they have been, and that the situation in the UK gets better and better, and therefore the risk gets lower and lower. But a lot could happen in 2 months, and we are preparing for every eventuality. So if coming, if we arrive in September and it's not possible for our students who are currently overseas to come back to the UK, then we will have an online provision in place again, just for that period. So we'll set work online, students can submit the work online, assess it, and then we can assess it and provide feedback in calls such as this, via text message, via phone calls, however the teacher wishes to manage it. We'll also have equipment in classrooms so that those students outside of the UK can watch the classes live as they happen and can interact with the teacher in the classroom as those lessons are delivered. It might be slightly harder for them to interact with the students in the class, but they will still be able to interact with the teachers. We'll have one-to-one tutoring sessions. So the tutor, again, may use something like Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or just phone the students so that they have the opportunity to have that one-to-one tutoring. We'll run virtual tours of the school as well, so that they at least know what the community they're joining looks like and who the people are. And then when they are able to arrive in the UK, then we'll have a more intensive orientation as well, and help students catch up on any work they may not have fully understood while they were learning remotely. So I'm kind of thinking about this as an online bridge, if you like. So some parents will be thinking about deferring and not sending their children to school in the UK until September 21. Some might pay to hold a place and wait to see how things are in January. And what we're saying really is don't waste a year, don't waste your money on holding a place that you're not using. Enroll with us in September, and if it's not safe to travel in the UK at that time, then this online provision will kind of act as a bridge, taking you from that period of uncertainty into the classroom in the UK as soon as it's safe for people to travel. So there you go. I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, if you like, talk about COVID first before we go on to talk about actually what our schools are like as examples of English independent schools, British independent schools. And I think, you know, when we were having this conversation about running this webinar, what Chris and I, and Ömür as well, were really keen to emphasize is that the UK is about more than just London. So we've got 29 schools across 41 sites. You'll see that we are well represented in London, but we've got lots of other schools across the UK. Again, a lot of that is in the southeast or south of England more generally, but we have schools in South Wales as well, and we have schools in Yorkshire. So there are a range of options to think about, and obviously, you know, we're pretty representative of the UK independent school sector in that respect as well. Not every school is in London. Some of the best schools in the UK are well outside of London. So there's the spread. And really I wanted to talk about that diversity of settings. And obviously with location comes a strong correlation with price. So if you do choose one of the London schools, you'll be paying more than you would do for a school, say, in Devon or South Wales. In fact, you know, one of our London schools could be quite considerably more expensive than a school in South Wales, say, for quite similar educational outcomes. There's a variety of age groups, so we're talking about prep schools and senior schools as well. There's a diversity of age ranges that our schools serve. And a variety of entry tariffs as well. So some schools will be quite selective and some schools will be less selective, and perhaps a good choice if your child has special educational needs. We're a day school group as well. We're not a boarding school group, but there are a range of options as well in terms of whether you want to live with your family, if your family is moving to the UK, or you already have relatives in the UK, whether you might want to think about a homestay or private boarding relationship. There's lots of options in terms of homestay and life outside of the classroom. So the first school I wanted to kind of focus on was our new school, our new prep school in Kensington, which is called Prince's Garden Prep School. So that will serve children up to the 11+ entry into some of the senior schools in London. and perhaps slightly untypically for a school serving such young students, there will still be a focus on science, technology, engineering and mathematics through specialist teaching. The other thing that's quite special about this school is it's got a 2-acre garden, which is quite rare for a school in central London. We're right by Hyde Park. We're by the Royal Albert Hall. We're by a lot of the museums in Kensington as well. So a great opportunity to be in central London and take advantage of all the resources that are on the doorstep. Every child is encouraged to relish learning, develop curiosity, be ambitious, obviously, so that they leave us confident and excited about the future. And we will use London and particularly Kensington as an extension of the classroom in a school like this. We won't just be in the classroom all day long. Lessons will be delivered on a weekly basis, I think, at some of the museums, like the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum. And there's use of Imperial College London, one of the best universities in the UK, the use of their sports facilities, including their swimming pool. So yeah, lots of specialist teaching, lots of making use of what's on the doorstep there. So a really exciting new addition to the prep school options in central London from this September. Looking beyond prep schools, we have a school that goes from pre-prep all the way through to senior school in North London. So the school's called Northbridge House, and it ranges across sort of pre-preps in Hampstead and West Hampstead. There's the prep school in just by Regent's Park, senior school up to GCSE in Hampstead, and then a senior school up to A-level in Canonbury. So quite a range. The school helps every student fulfill their academic potential through things like teaching in small groups, and students achieve well above the national average at every key stage. Lots of one-to-one support available, and quite a wide range of A-level subjects as well. I guess the things that parents are always keen to hear about are things like A-level results. So 34% of A-level grades were A-star or A, and 54% of maths grades were A-star or A. And then students go on to a range of Russell Group universities. Oxford is among them, as well as the ones I've listed there. Yeah, quite an exciting range of university choices that the students go on to. So that's an A-level school, that's an English national curriculum school. And then just to give you a bit more flavour of the diversity on offer within the UK, we also have an international baccalaureate school as well, so an international school. So we also own and operate South Bank International School, which is also spread across London, so Kensington, Westminster and Hampstead again. So it's an international school. It serves the expat community in central London. It was the first school in the UK to offer the IB programme. Really outstanding programme that it is, you know, great for international students and international audiences, and some very strong results there again last year. So of the 62 students who took the diploma, 98% passed, and the average score was 7 points above the world average. And because it's an international school, you'll see that the university destinations included prestigious US universities as well as UK universities. So yeah, hope I've given you a bit of a flavour of what it's like to study at a prep school with following the English national curriculum, a senior school following the English national curriculum, and then finally an international school following the IB programme. Ömür, did you want to take over at this stage?
Can I just interject?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can open your Q&A there, but
Let's have a quick look.
I think there's a question there for Ömür on how do you evaluate the importance of homeschooling in terms of pupils' learning and personal development? And I think,
in actual fact, the first question, our guest is asking about the university, you know, the application. He's wondering whether, other than IB, you know, a Turkish student who is doing his IB in Turkey, when he applies to America, he has to do SATs and things like this. So he's wondering what does he need to do to get into a good UK university. It's very simple. First of all, the student needs to focus on his IB. He must get a very high IB for a good university. Then he needs to get his IELTS, which is an English exam, academic English exam. Again, depending on which universities he is focusing on, I recommend that he gets 7.5 at least. And then his personal statement is as important as his IB qualifications for UK. Then he's fine. You know, it's very important. He sees the universities, he visits, he does 5 selective, universities for his undergraduate course, then he'll be fine. But if he has already done SAT because of his US application, then if he's got really good results, he can add that to his UK application and show them how wonderful he is. I hope this is helpful for you. Then the second question is about homeschooling. Now, this is something is very difficult to answer on this webinar because it's totally a different concept, how the student will be assessed whether he will be suitable for homeschooling, what are the pluses, what are the minuses. I think I need to reply to that question after our webinar.
Yeah, I mean, questions can be taken offline as well. If you submit them, to BCCT, we can then pass them to Ömür or to Neal. But I think we've had a good insight now into how the independent schools are actually operating during the COVID and obviously looking at post-COVID environments. And as we said in the beginning, I mean, this is a journey that students are taking, and they're going from sort of their early primary years through to secondary and university. So I think one of the very strong advantages of taking this particular journey is that you're following the system all the way through, and you're well prepared going from your sort of primary school experience in UK through to university, which gives you more appreciation of when you're looking at universities, and the actual personal letter that Ömür mentioned. You've got a good grounding in just how UK is working. You can understand the culture, the language is familiar, and you obviously have a better grounding than if you were just looking to enter a UK university from Turkey at the age of 18 or 19 without any previous understanding of the UK education system. So I mean, it's a very important element that I think parents should think about when they're looking to move their children to another country for education. I mean, I'm not saying you don't start with university. I'm not saying you don't do that, but there is another way that you can start at the beginning of the journey and take it all the way through to the final university degree. So this is what we're trying to give you an insight into how that would work. So Ömür, do you want some final points that you'd like to make?
Yes, I just want to talk about the online learning and the learning loss very briefly. Then I will finalize. Thank you. Şimdi ikinci bölümde söylediğim gibi COVID sonrası, pandemi sonrası online learning konusu çok ön safhaya çıktı ve birçok insan ve okul bu işe hazırlıksız yakalandı. Ama bundan önce de söylediğim gibi okullar, Neal da bahsetti, altyapılarını üniversite seviyesinde online teaching ile ilgili olarak kuvvetlendiriyorlar. Şimdi ben burada oturuyorum ve veliyim ve çocuğum var. Ben diyorum ki kendime, ah ne kadar güzel, virüs olduğunda çocuğum online eğitim alacak, olmadığında okula gidecek. Çok güzel. Fakat bu online eğitimle ilgili bizim idrak edeceğimiz çok önemli bir konu var. Yani öğrencinin kendisinin, ailenin de yardımıyla gelişmesi lazım. Neler yapması lazım? Önce online derste dinlerken, yani katıldığında çok iyi dinleyecek, çok iyi anlayacak, laptopunun çok sağlıklı olmasını ve connection'ın çok sağlıklı olmasını sağlayacak, sorumluluk alacak, etrafında hiçbir şekilde onun dikkatini dağıtacak etken olmayacak. Yani çok güzel bir çalışma teritorisi, bir köşesi olacak. Ve ders esnasında çok akıllı bir strateji geliştirip öğretmenine konuyu bildiğini, konuyu merak ettiğini, derse katılımını belli bir strateji çerçevesinde sınıf arkadaşlarını da rahatsız etmeyecek şekilde kendini geliştirecek. Yoksa oturup da laptopun karşısına geçip yani ben bu dersi dinledim tamamdır deyip dosyasını, defterini, laptopunu kapattığı an onun akademik başarısı çok gerilerde kalacaktır. Dolayısıyla velilere görev düşerken öğrenciye de görev düşüyor. Ne oluyoruz? Bu değişim esnasında daha fazla konsantre olacağız, organize olacağız, hedef odaklı olacağız, olumlu olacağız. Kişisel gelişimine önem verecek, kendisini daha iyi tanıyarak daha kararlı adımlar atacak. Bu da onun çok çabuk olgunlaşmasına, başarıyı appreciate etmesini, akademik gücünün yanında ikna ve liderliğinin arttığı bir dönem olacak. Yani bence sınıfta, okulda aldığı eğitimle mukayese ederseniz bunun çok artıları var. Ve diyeceksiniz ki yani bu online eğitim konusunda hani yaş sınırı nedir? Ben bu 3 ay içinde çok güzel bir tecrübe yaşadım. Minik bir öğrencimle ama çok olgun şekilde konuya girdi. Buradan aile de zannediyorum bu semineri seyrediyor Ümit. Hiç ümitli değildik aslında. Ümit'in 1 saat oturup da bir tutor'la 1 saat gözünü kırpmadan ders yapması. Ben tutor'ı organize ettim. Hatta ilk derste ben Ümit oldum. Ona özel bir ders hazırladık. O gündür bugündür Ümit haftada 3 defa tutor'ından çok isteyerek ve çok öğrenerek bir prep school'a hazırlanıyormuş gibi İngilizce, matematik, verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, el yazısı büyük mesafe kat ettik 3 hafta içinde. Ve karar verdik ki Ümit bundan sonra haftada 1 defa veya 3 defa tutor ile birlikte böyle güzel bir yolculuğa çıktı. Dolayısıyla lütfen yaşa bakmayalım, hedefe bakalım. Böylece öğrenciler ilerleyecek. Bir de tabii ki o kombinasyon Neal'ın da dediği gibi okullar açık, okullar kapalı, online eğitim derken çok güzel bir kombinasyonu yakalayacağız. Bu arada bu yaz velilerin çok dikkatli bir şekilde 4 aydır öğrencilerin öğrenme kaybı. Evet, öğrenme kaybı. Bu konuya dikkat etmelerini istiyorum. İnanın bu bir hafıza kaybı değil ama hafıza kaybı kadar tehlikeli. Öğrenciler öğrenme kaybı yaşadılar ve yaşayacaklar. Bir süre alacak. Öğrenme kaybı ile ilgili mutlaka online çok iyi hocalardan kişiye özel, öğrenciyi ileri götürebilecek bu yaz esnasında ders aldırmanızı şiddetle tavsiye ederim. Çünkü Eylül'de bu öğrencilerin çok daha hazırlıklı başlaması, eğer ki kaos olursa Neal'ın dediği gibi gene bir online Aralık ayına kadar eğitim göreceklerse. Çünkü sınavlar yapılacak. Ve okullara belki de bu yıl olduğu gibi daha fazla söz hakkı verilecek. Sanki onlar exam center gibi olacak. Dolayısıyla öğrencilerin okullarını çok saygıyla, çok stratejik bir şekilde ilişki kurmaları lazım. Çünkü öğretmenlerin ve okulun ve karnelerin notları tespit edeceği bir 20-21 yılı olabilir. Umarım bugünkü konuşmalarımız hepinize çok faydalı oldu. Sorularınızı bekliyoruz. Offline'da ben cevap vereceğim daha sonra. Herhangi bir eğitim konusunda İngiltere ile ilgili, dünya ile ilgili eğitim sorularınızı bize yöneltebilirsiniz. Çok teşekkür ederim. Thank you, Chris.
I think you're on mute, Chris. Sorry.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
a bit strange for me these days. But yeah, we've got a few more. I think we've got one more question there. I don't know whether you want to take that one, Neil.
yes. Oh, Bright Horizon. Neil, do you want to answer that question?
I mean, I can do. I think, as many of these questions are, I think the answer is really about your own personal choices and preferences. That I think there's a range of different options that you can look into at that age group. It all depends on the type of education that you'd like for your child, whether you want something quite formal or something perhaps a bit informal. And I think, you know, a good example of this is my wife is a teacher at quite a prestigious girls' school in Greater London, and they go from sort of pre-prep age all the way through to A-level. So we had quite a good potential deal, seeing as my wife works at that school, on that nursery place. So we went to have a look at it at the pre-prep, and actually we just found all the children sitting still, 2-3-year-old children all sitting still, listening to a teacher in a very, very formal setting. And we decided, actually, you know, it wasn't the right model for us. It wasn't the right type of education for us. We wanted our children to have a slightly more informal educational offering, and something slightly less regimented. You know, that time would come as they got older. But it's a perfectly legitimate choice for other people, other families, other children. So there are different choices, different options out there, and it's for you as families to decide what's most appropriate for you.
Okay, thank you, Neil. We've got one on the chat line. I don't know if you've seen that, Ömür.
Yes, yes. Ercüment Bey, Ercüment İmer. Ercüment Bey, sorunuzu okudum şu anda. GCSE geçmişi olmasa da iyi bir şekilde hazırlandığı takdirde A-Level için İngiltere'deki A-Level okullarına müracaat edebiliriz. Burada da bir takım konularda hazırlarız. Ona göre okula kabul görür. Ama bunu şimdi burada çok kısaca 2-3 dakikada anlatabilmem mümkün değil. Ticaret Odası bir e-mail gönderecek. Orada benim telefonum da olacak. Dolayısıyla belki sizle daha sonra konuşabiliriz. Tülay Hanım, merhabalar. Umarım iyisiniz. İngiltere dışından IB notlarıyla üniversiteye devam etmek isteyen öğrenciler. Evet, biraz önce söylediğim gibi Tülay Hanım, İngiltere dışında IB okuduğunda üniversiteye müracaat edebilir. Burada gene çok iyi bir IB notu alması lazım. Personal statement'ı çok önemli ve de IELTS notu önemli. Üniversiteleri önceden seçimi, 5 üniversitenin sağlıklı, sıhhatli bir şekilde seçim yapılması UCAS'ten çok önemli. Bunları yaptığı takdirde tabii ki güzel IB notlarıyla İngiltere'de üniversite okurlar. Umarım faydalı oldu.
Okay, thank you, Ömür. I mean, just another point from me. I mean, when you look at you know, sending your children abroad to study at whatever level, I think one of the benefits that they will also have is the diversity of having, you know, engagement with, you know, students from other parts of the world, different cultures, and, you know, as the world, you know, we talk about globalization and the world gets smaller, and, you know, as our children become better educated, and they're looking for opportunities in their careers and their futures, which may not necessarily be in the country that they originate from. It could be in other countries around the world as well. So, the diversity of making friends during education who come from other ethnic and cultural backgrounds, I think is also a great benefit for students. And that's probably what we'll be looking at post-COVID as well, because the world has to come closer together to deal with the major global issues that we are facing. And I think having that opportunity to mix with a diverse group of people, I think, is also a benefit. So that's something else I would just add to that. I think we've got a few more on the chat line.
Yes. Aykut Bey, biraz önce söylediğim gibi siz de tabii ki işinizde çok ustasınız ve uzmansınız. Tanışıyoruz. Merhabalar. Online eğitim kalitesi, öğrencinin online eğitimde kendisini geliştirecek stratejik gelişim, ailenin öğrenciyi ve okulu yakından sağlıklı bir şekilde takip etmesi, sistematik bir şekilde takip etmesi, online eğitim sisteminin kalitesini arttıracağından, öğrencinin de başarısının artacağına yürekten inanıyorum. Bu çok önemli bir konu. İkincisi de biraz önce söylediğim gibi öğrenme kaybı ve nasıl önüne geçilirdi? İkinci önemli konu. Teşekkür ederim.
Okay, and I think we've answered all the chat questions there. Just looking at them. Yeah, so we've dealt with those. I mean, just as a final comment, Neil, anything that you'd like to add?
I'm just having a quick think in terms of any other things that we could add in. I think just to pick up on your point earlier on, Chris, I think one of the real advantages of studying at an independent school in the UK is that diversity of perspective and opinion that you get. So whilst Turkish students will have the opportunity to learn a bit more about the UK, British culture, and what it means to study at a British school, I would emphasize that students and teachers as well will have an interest in the Turkish perspective. So it really should be a two-way conversation, and that you're constantly sharing your particular insights, whether they're informed by your culture, your religion, or your nationality, whatever else that might be. So we kind of talk about a global perspective in all of our schools, offering a global perspective, and I think that's more important than ever at the moment, and that's a real value.
The importance of English, Neil. The education in English, and it's the opportunity and the potential for all over the world. It is so precious, as precious as the education they get.
I think one of the other things that we're seeing is that since the UK government has brought back post-study work visas for university students, we're also... Sorry?
Is it 4 years, or is that for PhD?
Yeah, that's for, I think it's 2 years initially, in them bringing it back. But what we're seeing is an increase in demand in the UK independent schools as well, because parents understand that if you come in at the school level, as Ömür said, you'll improve your English much more rapidly. You'll have a better understanding of British culture, and you'll be in a much stronger position then to make successful applications to some of the more prestigious, some of the more selective UK universities. So that's another trend that we're seeing happening very quickly. The government only really brought that back in the last year, I think, and the impact has been quite profound.
Very important. Very important.
Exactly, and I think there's another mutual benefit, as you mentioned earlier. It's everything's a two-way street, no matter what we look at. So, I mean, if we have Turkish students and more Turkish students, you know, they become ambassadors for Turkey, and you know,
Yes.
Turkey is growing in its influence. You know, it's growing in its economic strength, and you know, when we speak to Turkish companies with the chamber, when we're helping them with opportunities in UK, many Turkish companies, you know, are looking to, you know, raise their profile, both regionally and globally. They want to be international players, and you know, they've got all the capabilities to do that. But when they're looking for, you know, employees, they'll be looking for employees who've got an international awareness. They'll be looking, as you said, for English. I mean, that's quite critical for the major Turkish companies that are not just operating locally, but are operating internationally. And you know, to have that diversity in that you know, education that, you know, is a mixture of two very good education systems. We're not saying the Turkish education system is not a good one, it is. So, you know, I think when you put all these things together, I think future generations will be looking, you know, to have a very broad breadth of education, and also have a better understanding of you know, how the different cultures work around the world. And yeah, I think this is you know, an ideal opportunity to, you know, to embark on that journey. Anyway, so I think we've answered all the questions. If there are any questions that you think about later that you'd like to ask, I mean, please drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to make sure that Ömür and Neal get them, and they can answer them directly. But you know, it's been a very interesting discussion. I'm sure you'll have appreciated the knowledge and insights that you've received from our two speakers today, and yeah, we will be continuing you know, to support, you know, British independent schools through BCCT. That's something that's part of our remit, and you know, we would like to see, obviously, more Turkish students in UK. So I wish you all a very good day. Stay safe, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.